Hello, and welcome to How to Play D&D, the explainer podcast with one experienced dungeon master and one failed scriptwriter to discuss D&D topics. My name is Kinsey, my ridiculously inadequate pod partner is Lewis McCaffery. Hello, Lewis.
Hello, Colin. I don't know why I was getting giddy then listening to...
I was speedrunning that, it was fluent. I didn't mumble.
I'm really impressed.
Yeah, and do you know what? I was so confident at the moment where I was excited about. I was going to do this and this, but I was like, no, don't push
smash
it. Yeah, don't
we'll save that for future episodes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
How's life?
Yeah, it's alright. Been made redundant. At the point of this episode comes out, I've probably been made redundant about 5 weeks ago.
I thought you were going to say about 5 times.
But life is good.
Yeah.
And genuinely, it sounds like I'm having a breakdown. But not so stressful.
No.
Not so stressful.
I mean, if
applying for jobs, doing what I can, being creative.
If we're not having breakdowns, then this isn't us. That's how you know if like robots or lizards have ever replaced us. If we're not having a breakdown mid-episode, something's wrong.
It's the only way to be sure that we're not in the Matrix.
Exactly.
Basically.
Exactly.
I will probably do. Obviously, we do our own little like kind of rambles, little chats on our Patreon. Probably have a little episode about redundancy. Just depression, D&D. I thought it might be quite good.
Yeah, I thought you were going to start saying, what if your party gets made redundant by a king or something? I was like, yeah, fair enough.
That's actually a good plan, a good idea for a campaign. But I think that might be a good one for people to just be like, we all go through it. What can you do to get out of the rut? Yeah,
we've done brief episodes, haven't we? Like obviously in season 1 of why we play it, but it's good to get into that because obviously D&D's love, D&D is life.
D&D is, and lots of people have lots going on, so maybe we can do a session on that. Something that actually sounds good. I'm just saying it as I go, but it sounds quite good actually. It might be helpful. Can you guess what today's episode is? And it's pretty out there.
Redundancies.
Kind of similar. Relationships. Let's get to it. Okay, so today's episode is on relationships. I hope to be a part of one someday. That's all I've got.
I was going to say something, but how quick you looked at me filled me with fear.
Yeah. Lewis, how many relationships have you sailed on? What am I doing?
I'm sailing on one right now.
Easy one right now. I'm sailing the oceans of love.
Oh, dear.
And you're the waves that I hope to ride. You're meant to be answering this.
I don't know what this means.
Sorry?
I don't know. How many relationships? I don't know. 69, because why not? It's a gorgeous dinner for two.
Baller move.
That's why.
Baller move. Yeah. Alright, let's get to it. Let's get over that.
Let's move on.
Let's sail over that pretty quickly. Okay, so an odd topic as it sounds vague, but I do have a plan with this. I've written this bit down. Now, it's not uncommon for players to get emotionally tied to one another or an NPC, so let's discuss that. And I've written that down as scripted because what I mean by that is not the other person, but their other characters. If a character dies in a group, we've had it, people have it, even NPCs, and I can name one straight off the bat. Probably Miguel. There we go, Miguel. I thought you were going to say it, but you didn't. That's... we've all gone through that, and we've not covered that really. And I think people experience that way more than some other things we've covered. Yeah,
I think when you think of... For anyone that's new to D&D, anyone that doesn't play it, when you say relationships like in a game like this, it sounds weird, it sounds cringy. It's like... You assume that that's only for like the hardcore... like dweebs of the world that want that, but if you're playing D&D and if you're getting involved into your character, then it's only natural for things like that to happen, and not always 100%. Like intimate relationships between you and an NPC where you have to describe things. It's more the emotional attachment you can have to characters.
The fact that you spent time with another character or player character or NPC, or just one that is just funny for a couple of minutes, and then you don't get to play with that NPC again or person because they don't come back to the next session. That's what we mean by that. And that could also mean your own character as well.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, especially in campaigns, if you're playing with someone for a long time, then... And let's say you play every week, 3 hours a week, and you do that for a year, then that's 3 hours a week that you are embracing your own character.
Yeah.
And that character, that when it's almost like a very vulnerable state for you as a player because you're pretending to be that character. And if they bond with someone else, it's natural to get invested.
Yeah, 100%. You're giving a bit of yourself up, whether that's to your character, or like I said, it's vulnerable, or to someone else's, and it will probably be weird us saying that, but that is actually just naturally what happens if you get involved in D&D, and it's nice, to be honest. It's quite nice to have that. Yeah,
I think that's when you know that you're really getting into it. If you're invested in another character, not even your own, then you're doing it right.
You're in it, yeah. Definitely. Have you ever been emotionally tied to another player's character or an NPC? You can say Miguel, but talk about that after.
Yeah.
Any other player's character?
Oh, there's definitely been some. It's even in the server we used to run, there were characters that, with my characters, would be in a pair or a group, just going around, especially in the role play, the downtime areas of the server, where it was just those two characters.
Camaraderie.
Already that. Even in the campaign we've got at the moment, the group gels that well that each one is, or some more than others obviously, but each one is connected to my character. So if it's like when one of our player characters died, probably like over 10 sessions ago now, and that I feel like the whole group was emotional for that person.
Because as emotional as the person as
exactly
well. Not because they weren't emotional, but it felt like a great loss.
Exactly. And they were one of the best characters in the group that we have.
Right.
So it was definitely a moment of being like, shit.
Yeah, you've lost something.
Yeah, especially even because his character at the time was like lawful evil or something. Mine was lawful good. So really, there was always that clash between them.
Yeah.
But the respect that my character had for his character, it was a true loss.
Yeah, you are still sharing a goal, and so it's almost more interesting that can be a conflicted way of getting there, I think.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah. No, I'm the same. I don't think I've played in a campaign with specific characters. And where I'm like, oh, that's that, or this, that. Because actually, really, I've only played one full campaign, and I was new to D&D, so I was more like, what the hell am I doing? Rather than I'm also observing everyone else. But being in the server that we used to run, there are characters there, and people where you don't get to play with them anymore, and that's as sad as the characters or NPCs you lose. Are there good NPCs that I miss? Yes, and I love being able to bring them back where possible, because you always just really cheers people up. And I think we will have a session about DMing NPCs, but like a topic, come up. But it's just nice when you can give a little and people go, oh, they're back. When it's the times are tough in the session and that's revealed, that's really nice.
Yeah, especially from a DMing point of view. If you can give your players that excitement, even momentarily, just that they recognise something, it's great.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a great feeling.
What do you do as a player to make that relationship be non-weird? To make it feel real for your character experience? Maybe swear to protect them, for example.
Yeah, I think there are ways you can go about it. It depends on the dynamic. It's like, for example, let's say in the campaign at the moment, one of the NPCs that my character is really attached to is Skeeg, who is a cleric that had, for everyone who's not in our campaign, was basically in a relationship with my character's brother who died. So
drama.
Yeah, family drama, the best.
Oh yeah,
best kind. But so he's very much taken on almost like I said, I vow to protect you kind of thing.
Yes,
that kind of role. So he's really connected to her. And in those situations, it's just kind of going along with it and doing it. Sounds obvious to say it's doing exactly what you do in that moment.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the more awkward type, especially if it's between another player's character or an NPC, if your character is wanting a emotional relationship with an NPC or another person's character, first thing to do is make sure everyone at the table, I think, is comfortable with that. You don't have to go around describing how you're going to absolutely rail them or something.
Please do that to
me. But it's make sure everyone's comfortable with it, because some people are, some people aren't, and it's that thing. Don't force it. If it feels right and everyone's okay with it, I don't see a harm personally at my tables that if a character or if a person wants to describe getting closer, getting more emotionally involved with another person.
We'll come up with our next question is about it.
Oh, okay.
The borderline weird side of it.
Okay.
But just to top this one off, I think the best thing is like read the room.
Yeah.
Don't immediately go into a session, the first session with a player, and just be like, I fuck them. Yeah. Don't do that. Don't do that.
No.
Just
with the players, maybe, not the characters.
And do you know what? I don't think it's that hard to work this one out, because hopefully you are emotionally intelligent, comfortable, mature. And I say we're playing for the first time. Well, obviously we get on because we have a podcast. After a couple of sessions of hanging out with each other, you get that you get along. Exactly. And so then you go, you don't even need to think about it. You're going to be more likely to fall in with the jokes, to fall in with, oh, my character will go with that character, my character. And then it doesn't feel weird because time is on your side. When you just, I've never met the guy, and then a guy just goes, yeah, and now I'm on your back and I'm giving you kisses. You're like, okay, this is a bit, like you've got to, like you would. It's like a real friendship.
I mean, that is what we did after our first game together.
We did it before just to be we kissed to get it out of the way.
That was our session 0.
Definitely. Oh, okay. Are there moments in D&D that those relationships are borderline weird and something needs to be said?
Yes. I mean, I've encountered it before, DMing, where players have gotten a bit too weird with it, where they've started describing stuff, whether it's to an NPC. Most of the time when I've encountered it, it's towards NPCs and things. And I think there's only been one moment where I've had to stop a player or speak to them during a break and just say, listen, you're being weird.
Yeah. What did I do again?
What don't you do? This is every session. But yeah, it's one of those things. I think as well, remember, obviously, some people are fucking weird. So some people join D&D for that.
Yeah, they're likely to be playing your game because they are slightly weird.
Yeah.
We all have our quirks. Some of them are way less acceptable.
Yeah.
To be honest.
And that is a topic for another day. That's our After Darks episode.
Yeah.
But one thing I would say as well, and this is from a DM perspective, remember as well that I don't think you should ever just tell the player, like, stop it, fuck off, like, you're doing it wrong. Just have a chat with them, let them know it's a bit weird. I don't think everyone's comfortable with it. If you can like dial it down a bit, because remember, they're playing a game as well. They might not intend to be weird. They just
it might
go in for something
perceived that way.
Exactly. But I think most people, like you said, will have the emotional maturity enough to understand not to just straight away go in completely naked trying to impress an NPC or something.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, last question. I think we've answered these really maturely, actually.
Surprisingly
for us. I thought I was going to have to bring HR in on this topic. As a DM, how do you create NPCs or even situations to make that relationship feel realistic for the players? And once again, relationship isn't like, I'm married to a female NPC or this man is having my baby. What we mean by that is, how do we get players wanting an NPC to come back? Why is it funny when they meet the blacksmith for the first time that they keep wanting to go back to the blacksmith? All he's doing is selling items, but there was something there that makes them want to come back and have more.
I think there's loads of reasons. One, the more obvious one, is connect it to a player's backstory, with Ski, like that. Immediately, if you're playing your character's backstory right, or how you've written it, then immediately there should be some connection there. There should be some want to see them again. If it's someone that they're meeting for the first time, there could be loads of ways. Whether even just that NPC is nice, they offer to help them. If they give them, and I'm not saying this to use, so DMs have to use this as a way to give free shit. It's more just if you went into, just think of it this way, if you went into, let's say, your local game shop and you met a new staff member for the first time, they were really lovely, they were chatty, they offered you advice, if you asked them something, they tried their best to help, that kind of thing, then you will want to go back and you will remember how nice they were. And it's the
you're
same...
more likely to go back to ask that person the question that
exactly.
you have.
And it's the same with, like I said, blacksmiths or whatever, shopkeepers or any NPCs in D&D. If you're making them friendly enough where the players get a lot out of it, because remembering it is a game of like literally find out as much as you can, do as much as you can,
negotiation, investigation.
Exactly, yeah. So if they can help with that, then they're going to want to see that NPC again.
Yeah, and I think also just to reiterate, like these can be bad guys as well. In our current session that we've just finished last week in our campaign, I introduced the group to a hag, which everyone was like, "Fuckers!" Like she was instantly kind of irritating but cheeky, and they were getting battered by her, but they were also literally throwing
insults at her name.
And then when she left, they were like, "Oh, that bastard! I hope she comes back. Like, I want more of her."
Yeah.
And that's nice that it can even be the other way. It's not someone helping, but there's some kind of like charm there, charisma going on, even if it's a combatant that makes you wanna be in that moment again and have that combat again, finish it.
Yeah, I think the best way to summarize it overall for me, anyway, is just if it's an actual thought about NPC, the players will want to see them again. Like, if obviously not every NPC is designed to be like that, but the difference is if you have a shopkeeper that you have a name and a list of items they sell, or you have a shopkeeper that has a family that they're supporting, that's why they've got the shop, they've also got a few trinkets, they've been an adventurer in the past, if they've actually got things about them, then it'll instantly draw players to that
the
NPC.
intrigue.
Yeah. And it's even like with one of in the campaign with Merger, who is someone who we originally thought we were going to have to kill because he basically turns into this giant metal wolf. It's terrifying. And then the more we learn about him, the more we've seen him, he's never been openly hostile. So now the entire group is kind of just waiting, thinking, do we actually need to
sort him out? Yeah.
Is he just a nice guy? Like, have we misunderstood this completely?
I think sometimes that murkiness is good. Yeah. And it keeps people coming back. If it's face value, right, they're bad. Oh, they're good. Then you feel like you've completed that person and you move on.
Exactly, and I mean ideally that's how it should be. It shouldn't always be the DM saying this is a bad NPC. Your job is to kill them. This is a good one. Help them. It should often be, here's an NPC. It's up to you to decide whether you think this is bad or good. Then you're not making them follow the story, you're letting them do what they want. Exactly. And that's exactly the same with other player characters as well, and players at the table, that you might have different reasons for doing things, but it's that's how you create that relationship, and that's why it can be nice. Or it could just be purely sexual, and that can be weird. And I'm not a part of that. I'm sure there are entire groups that are fine with that. Well, so, I mean, that's the Black Shores anyway. Yeah, if it exists, it's out there. Exactly. If you can think of it, it's been made. You need to, when we eventually all die in the Black Shores, you need to do like a alternative universe, like one-shot Black Shores. It's just a massive harem or something. Yeah. Okay, today's adventure is sadly coming to a close, but we're back in next week with why are planes shaped like penises and other penial questions. And as always, thank you for tuning in. And if you'd like to join on the D&D action, then follow us on Instagram and TikTok at How to Play D&D, or check out the link in our bio to join our Discord server. And for BTS of sessions, bloopers, blogs, early access to episodes, even live Q&As, I should really shorten this. Check out our Patreon at patreon.com/howtoplaydnd. I've been Connor Kinsey. I've been Lewis McCaffery. Good day. Goodbye.